Hi, this is Rudy Jones of PalmettoStateBaseball.com. Welcome to the Palmetto State Baseball Podcast for May 20th, 2024. Sorry I'm a little late with it this week. I had some things going on. This podcast is a part of my coverage of college baseball in South Carolina. I offer schedules, scores, rankings, and other news about all 33 teams that play college baseball in the state of South Carolina. I am also active on X, formerly known as Twitter, at the handle of Palmetto Base. Drop me an email at rudyjones@PalmettoStateBaseball.com or send me a message on X with comments, compliments, or criticisms. Listener and reader interaction helps me know what I need to do better or at least differently. If you like my coverage of college baseball in South Carolina, please tell your friends who are fans of college baseball and ask them to check out PalmettoStateBaseball.com as well. Instead of a sponsor, I use a little time each podcast to talk about the church where I serve the Lord. I invite you to worship with me at Reedy River Baptist Church on US 25 between Travelers Rest and the Furman University Golf Course in Greenville County. Worship time is 10:30 on Sunday mornings. I believe you will find that we are a friendly church and we'll be a welcoming church. Please come try us. I apologize for being slow with some of my updates over the weekend. I suffered an internet outage, and as a byproduct, I also lost my router and had to get that replaced. Trying to get all that sorted out, I've still got a couple of issues to fix. Contributed to me not being able to do a distance and data package for the website this week. Sorry about that, but I know you'll get over it. On to the news. Winthrop announced on Monday that it will not renew the contract of head coach Tom Reginas after 15 seasons. Coach Reginas came to Winthrop after serving as an assistant under Jack Leggett at Clemson. His most successful Winthrop team went 40-19 in 2015. You young whippersnappers might not know that Winthrop used to be an all-girls school. When it started a baseball program, it lured Newberry's Horace Turbeville, who had been very successful on the NAIA level, to start the program there. Winthrop has been able to field competitive teams more often than not. With its proximity to Charlotte, I believe it can be an attractive job for a young coach. It's just a shame they built the stadium to where home plate faces the sun, sometimes creating sun delays in late afternoon games. Now for this week's Old Man Yells at Cloud segment. Actually, I'm complimenting, not griping. The Southeastern Conference announced on Monday that it will use a double first base as an experiment in this week's tournament in Hoover. Double first bases have been used in some level of softballs for quite a while. The intention is to lessen the possibility of collisions between batter runners and first baseman or other defenders covering first. The additional first base abuts the original first base, but is in foul territory, and batter runners are to run to that base in most circumstances. Defenders are still to touch the original first base to get an out. Grounders that go over the additional first base in foul territory, of course, will be foul still. This and the pitch clock may be the only two baseball rule changes in the past 50-plus years I actually like. This doesn't change the core aspects of the game, and it could result in fewer injuries. Now, things I don't like. Designated hitter. 3-batter minimum for relief pitchers. The banning of shifts. The 10-run rule, and no-pitch intentional walks. Well, look there. I did get a chance to gripe. Now, get off my lawn. Looking back at last week, most midweek games involving state Division I teams got canceled by rain. That included Clemson's Tuesday visit to Coastal Carolina in what was supposed to be Gary Gilmore's final game at home as coach. He's retiring after this season after a very successful career, of course. I know Coach Gilmore received a great tribute on the day in his honor, May 11th, but I'm sure he wanted a chance to soak in everything at Springbrook Stadium one more time during a game. Alas, it was not to be. Elsewhere, North Greenville went 2-0 in its portion of the NCAA Division II Southeast Regional at Tigerville. The Crusaders lost to Georgia College in the opener, then had a late comeback fall short in being eliminated by Wingate. Georgia College, by the way, is coached by former University of South Carolina pitcher Nolan Belcher. The Bobcats won that portion of the regional in Tigerville and will now face Catawba in Salisbury, North Carolina, the birthplace of cheerwine, my favorite drink, this weekend for a spot in the NCAA Division II World Series in Cary, North Carolina later this year. Columbia International lost its opening game of the National Christian College Athletic Association World Series on Saturday, and that was the only of the postseason action involving a state team on last week. The NCCAA does not play games on Sundays, so the Rams held over to play Monday in the double elimination tournament. Last weekend was the final weekend of regular season for state teams, and most of them closed things out very successfully. Clemson's 3-game sweep of Boston College clinched the Tigers' first ACC Atlantic Division title since 2018. They're the number 2 overall seed for the ACC tournament. College of Charleston swept Elon and moved past UNCW to take the regular season championship in the Coastal Athletic Association. Presbyterian won its first ever Big South Conference regular season championship with a sweep of UNC Asheville. The Blue Hose taking care of UNCA also helped out Charleston Southern. That enabled the Buccaneers to hold on to 4th, the final spot for the Big South tournament, even though the Bucs went 1-2 at Winthrop to end the regular season. USC Upstate dropped 2 of 3 in a non-conference series at UNC Greensboro, which happened to win the Southern Conference regular season title because Wofford won 2 of 3 at Sanford and knocked the Bulldogs out. Coastal Carolina entered the weekend of the possibility of not even qualifying for the Sun Belt Conference tournament, but they won 3 against Marshall, and they earned 7th place. The Citadel, which had won 1 Southern Conference game in its first 19 tries, got a pair of comeback wins at Mercer on Saturday. So that was a nice finish to what has been a very frustrating season for the Bulldogs so far. A notable exception to last weekend's success was South Carolina, which was swept by number 1 Tennessee and has ended the season on a 6-game losing streak. Losing to the Vols and to a ranked Georgia team the weekend before is nothing to be embarrassed about on the surface, but the Gamecocks pitching staff has been shakier than a swinging bridge. I'm sure the struggles are weighing on the confidence of most of the pitchers. They don't seem to be able to plug in anyone in the right position. They've moved a bunch of pitchers around. The fact Carolina's offense hasn't been anything to write home about either has magnified the pitching shortcomings. I honestly am stunned that the Gamecocks are still included in most projections of the makeup of the NCAA tournament field of 64. They've gone from potential regional host and to a likely number 3 seed over the span of 6 games. Even one win over Tennessee would have allowed the Gamecocks to take the number 7 seed for the SEC tournament, but they didn't get that one win, so they finished 11th. It was actually in about a 4 or 5-way tie, but they lost all the tiebreakers. Why should a team, the Gamecocks finished 10th. Wrote this round wrong. Why should a team that is staggered to the end of the season be rewarded by the NCAA? Sorry if Gamecock fans feel I'm being unfair in my criticism, but this team has issues. As far as my weekly awards, I named the Citadel as my Palmetto State Baseball Team of the Week from May 13th through 19th after that good finish at Mercer. In my team rankings for state NCAA Division I schools, I moved College of Charleston ahead of South Carolina and behind Clemson in the rankings for Division I schools. North Greenville stayed atop my Division II rankings, and the same for Columbia International among NAIA and NCCAA schools, and as well as Florence Darlington Tech for junior colleges. Nationally, Clemson's top ranking is number 3 in the D1Baseball.com rankings. South Carolina has dropped out of all 5 major rankings after its recent struggles. This coming week is all about tournaments. I have complete tournament schedules for conferences involving state teams at PalmettoStateBaseball.com. Just a few moments ago, as I'm recording this, Columbia International won its 2nd game of Monday to stay alive in the NCCAA World Series in Kansas City. The Rams were facing an elimination in both games, and they were able to get wins both times. They'll advance to play Concordia Ann Arbor at 3:30 Tuesday in Kansas City in yet another elimination game. The ACC tournament begins Tuesday at Truist Field in Charlotte, although Clemson doesn't play until Thursday. The Tigers play Miami on Thursday, followed by Louisville on Friday. The Tigers went 2-1 against both those schools, both in road series in the regular season. As has been the case for the past several years, the ACC has pool play involving round-robin play among 4 groups of 3 teams. The 4 pool winners meet in semifinal games on Sunday, followed by the championship game. Semifinal games on Saturday, followed by the championship game on Sunday. The Southeastern Conference tournament with that experimental double base first base setup begins Tuesday at Hoover Metropolitan Stadium in the suburbs of Birmingham. The 4 Tuesday games are single elimination, with the winners advancing to join the top 4 seeds in the double elimination portion of the event beginning Wednesday. South Carolina plays Alabama at approximately 2 o'clock on Tuesday, and the winner of that game gets 2nd seed Arkansas approximately 24 hours later, also scheduled for 2 on Wednesday. USC went 1-2 against both those teams in the regular season. The SEC tournament continues through Sunday. Coastal Carolina also faces a single elimination round as it opens Sun Belt Conference tournament play against Georgia State at 4 o'clock on Tuesday. They're playing at Riverwalk Stadium in Montgomery, Alabama. The winner makes the double elimination portion of the bracket. The Chanticleers won 2 over Georgia State in the regular season and went 2-1. The tournament continues through Sunday. The Coastal Athletic Association tournament begins Wednesday at Brooks Field in Wilmington because Chad Holbrook's College of Charleston team doesn't play until 3 o'clock on Thursday and against an opponent that will be determined by Wednesday's results. That tournament's championship game also is on Sunday. The Southern Conference tournament again is at Floor Field in Greenville this year, and it begins on Wednesday. The Citadel and Wofford play at 3 o'clock for the right to advance to the 16 double elimination portion of the event on Thursday. The championship game is set for Sunday. The Big South Conference tournament begins Thursday at Truist Point in High Point, North Carolina. Charleston Southern and regular season champ Presbyterian play at 1, with High Point and USC Upstate following at approximately 5 o'clock. The championship game is set for Saturday. It's a 4-team double elimination event, much similar in setup to the regionals that the NCAA uses for Division I. The National Junior College Athletic Association World Series begins Saturday in Grand Junction, Colorado. Florence Darlington Tech was the first team to qualify by winning the East District title May 12th, but they've had to wait as they had the other 9 spots to be filled. The field was finally completed over the weekend, but there still has been no pairings or schedule announced. The other teams joining Florence Darlington Tech are Blinn, Crowder, Georgia Highlands, Iowa Western, Johnson County, McLennan, Northwest Florida State, Shelton State, and Southern Nevada. Some of those teams are traditionally some of the best teams and JUCO teams in the country all through the year. The Stingers are making their 3rd appearance in the Junior College World Series. There are first-round games on both Saturday and Sunday, so we'll see when FD Tech actually begins playing. Complete schedules for the tournaments and whatever updates and changes I can find will be at PalmettoStateBaseball.com, just like always. I put out a new podcast every week during the season on a Monday. If you enjoy my podcast and my other coverage of college baseball in South Carolina, please tell your baseball friends about PalmettoStateBaseball.com. As I mentioned before, email comments, compliments, or criticisms to Rudy Jones at PalmettoStateBaseball.com. I want your input to help my coverage be the best it can be for the best level of the greatest sport God ever allowed to be invented. As a reminder, I'd love for you to come worship with me at Reedy River Baptist Church. That's at 871 North 25 Bypass between Travelers Rest and the Furman University Golf Course in the Greenville area. Worship time is at 10:30 on Sunday mornings. I hope you will find out that we are a friendly church and will want to worship with us regularly. Thanks again for listening to the May 20th, 2024 episode of the Palmetto State Baseball Podcast. This is Rudy Jones of PalmettoStateBaseball.com saying, it's a beautiful day for baseball. Let's play too.